Well, hello everyone. Welcome back. And this is our first WeAwake for the new year, 2021. We made it. Oh my God, 2020. Woo! And we're still playing with that one. But yeah, been an incredible year. It'll be like 2020 will be like the numbers 9/11 here in the U.S. It's something to be branded in our brains forever. Were you there when? Do you remember what happened and what was going on for you, etc. So it has been it's just been dramatic and tragic and really, really, really hard if you're a conscious person. And there are struggles with democracy that's still kind of hanging in there. We're still trying to have a peaceful transfer of power, and there are forces that are fighting it, and it's hard. So where does that leave us? Well, that leaves us back with responsibility for being the best version of who we can be. And I'll just press this. I've been reading this book. It's called Developmental Politics by Steve McIntosh. And he's well, I wouldn't say he's a buddy of mine, but he's an acquaintance. I've had dinner with him at different conferences and stuff over the years. And he's really bright. And he has written a book that I'm just about, 50 pages into it, but it brings a lot of what we talk about as far as developmental psychology and spiral dynamics, and applies it to our current cultural ills, the culture wars and people just seemingly to come from different universes as far as their value systems and stuff, and how we can first of all acknowledge and see what's happening and do it without hatred, and do it with instead of anger, but with curiosity. It's like, and I've been living in very conservative areas, or very red states, for a long time, since I left California in '94, actually. And just here, and I mean, these people, you may totally disagree with them politically, but when you talk to people, they're okay. They're human beings. And I've been working on, part of my practice is make that connection possible. So yeah, and Steve says in the book about the two things that give us hope for a better future, and not just for things going downhill, but things actually getting better, is cultural transformation. And we need to acknowledge the rifts and the different value systems and worldviews that are competing for a political power, and for the airwaves, and for people's hearts and souls, and personal transformation. So that is what we are here to do at WeAwake, is to facilitate individual personal transformation by using this technology, and developing a life that puts transformation and healing and becoming the best version of ourselves as job number one. Because if we don't do that, then we miss the evolutionary train, and evolution can't happen through us as quickly as necessary to meet the needs of our people and the planet and all sentient beings right now. So Pam and I, and around November 1st, we started getting symptomatic with COVID, and we were in Colorado, and from where we've been in Louisiana, taking care of my wife's aging mother, my mother-in-law, and we zapped on over to our home of homes in southern Utah and rode out the disease there. And there just wasn't. We were really sick, and there wasn't room in the hospitals and all, and local clinic was good, and yeah, for a week there, it was touch and go with me. I think Pam didn't know whether I was going to wake up in the mornings, when I went to sleep. I was that sick. But I came out of it, and darn sure it ain't a hoax. And, we got it from a person that we really care about, but who wasn't, taking it very seriously. Oh, it, it can't get me, and maybe it's not so bad, all this kind of stuff. And anyway, so we did get it. And part of me, feels really connected to other people who are suffering, and dying, and who've lost family members. And yeah, the place where I exercise, there's a young black man I've become good buddies with, and turned him on to meditation, and we just hang out. And he said he got it, and he just lost his grandfather from it. So, and traveling back between Utah and Louisiana, you go through New Mexico and Arizona and Texas or Kansas, Oklahoma, depends on which route you take. But I've been doing that one for years, and I've noticed that people are taking it more seriously. In the beginning, people weren't wearing masks, and now it is the isolated. Anyway, it's a lot better than it was. And certainly traveling through the Navajo reservation, my God, from what I've read, they've been hit really hard, but everybody there takes it really, really seriously, and you can see all the tribal, information and signs and stuff like that. So anyway, and of course, the way out of all that, foundationally, is caring about one another and taking responsibility for ourselves and keeping each other safe, and doing what we can do, and remembering it's not all just about you and your personal welfare and your personal survival, but it's about everyone. And if we remember that and act from that place, we will make the right decisions. So enough of my stuff about that. I could go on. Trust me. But we are going to do a really, really great track today, and it is Infinity. And there's I believe there's two tracks there, right? The Song of Infinity and Stream of Infinity. And this was created by Douglas Prater, one of our WeAwake team. He's not here today. But Doug is brilliant in a lot of ways, and he's just, for those of you who know the Infinity tracks, they're really great. They're right at the top. I don't know what the top is. It's like, what's your favorite child? It's like, I don't know. I love them all, right? But anyway, it's really good, and this is an hour-long track, so we're going to have to commit here to hanging in for an hour, and I think it's really good to start out with a long meditation, because God knows we need it. And the thing about meditation, more is more. Okay. And this technology, the same thing. If you meditate longer, it's more powerful, and you can overdo it with this meditation. I wouldn't suggest any normal human being doing over 3 hours of this stuff. And that's kind of pushing it in a row. But yeah, normally in my meditations after an hour, right at that, it starts to really, really get deep, and I really get into that space where a lot of things happen. And one of the things is just pure awareness without thinking. What a relief, huh? So, excuse me. These tracks are very interesting, and they take us into Lambda. Okay, and I think about the first 27 minutes, we're dealing with Delta and Theta, Theta is a slow, low track, really good for meditation and working through emotional issues. And REM sleep produces a lot of Theta, or Theta produces a lot of REM sleep, however that goes, chicken or egg. And then Delta, which is just a really low, slow, powerful meditative track, which the brain exhibits are right. The chicken and the egg thing. When we are in deep dreamless sleep, the brain produces, or it shows up. Delta shows up either as a causative factor or as a result of. And then, last but not least, is Lambda. And I think these are the only tracks that I am aware of. It doesn't mean I know that much about everything that's out there, but I'm not aware of any other meditative tracks that do Lambda. And Lambda is very interesting. It takes Epsilon, which is even lower and slower than Delta, and wraps it in Gamma, which is like a super high frequency, that's up there. It's about alertness and compassion and thinking and processing information with this very, very deep, slow, glacial, peaceful flow of the river of Epsilon. So really interesting tracks. And that kicks in about 27 minutes if memory serves. So yeah, let's do this together, put our hearts and minds together, and the chatter machine will start chattering, and just watch it and say thank you for showing up, and focus on your breath or focus on your heart, or if you have a phrase that you use. One thing I normally do to set up my meditations, I do the St. Francis prayer: Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there's hatred, let me sow love, etc. That kind of gets me back where I'm supposed to be. And let's do this thing together, and let us meditate and pray and practice so that we can become the answers that we are looking for, and the solutions that we were born to be, and let the universe come through us to do the creative work that needs to be done in this time of rapid change. So without further ado, Vanessa, let's get this thing rolling. Well, welcome back, everyone. And thank you, Infinity. Thank you, Doug, for creating that. And yeah, that's a good way to start our new year off, sitting together with this powerful technology. So hope you all, love that. I sure did. It was extraordinary. And, somehow I feel this is just not business as usual. A shift from 2020 to 2021. Wherever I go, I talk to people, store this or that. When I have contact with people, everybody's talking about a hard year it was, and we're hoping and praying this next one will be better. And yeah, let's do whatever we can to be part of the solution. And I think with everything that we know now about the human brain, about psychology and the developmental spiral that we're all participating in, that is both historical, cultural, and individual. And what we know helps us to be better, more skillful, wiser, more compassionate beings. And it's pretty complex. We are complicated. It's complicated, and so you can't have. There's no simple solution to complexity that works. So the solutions have to be complicated enough or complex enough to cover all the bases. And I think with the integral map, if you guys are the Aqua map, if you're not familiar with that, check it out. And if you are, renew your relationship with it. Make sure you got your chops right. And it's just a map of the universe, interior, exterior, historical, current, this, that, and the other. And just like the universe, it's endless. The more you look, the more you see, the more it reveals itself. And was a great scientist. Trying to think his name. And he did a lot of things. Anyway, he happened to be African American, but they asked him how had he discovered so many things and created so many things in so many different fields. And his answer was, if you give yourself with love to that thing that you were trying to develop, whether it's play the guitar or become wake up to your own true spiritual nature through meditation and practice, or whatever it might be. If you give yourself a dedication and love, it will actually begin to reveal itself to you. And so let's give ourselves with love and compassion, and consider not only our rights and our individual rights, but even more deeply, what are our responsibilities? What are my responsibilities to myself? And what are my responsibilities to my community, to my family, to my world, to all the life forms that we're sharing this beautiful planet with? So here we are, and we got another year to do this thing better and to do it right. And I don't think the hard times are over, but there's just something about a new year that it's just another shot, another cycle in this ongoing thing that we've gone around the clock one more time. And hopefully we've learned a lot about ourselves. We've learned a lot about each other, and we've learned a lot about what possibly we need to do. And a good podcast I've been listening to is Daily Evolver by my friend Jess Salzman. Really, it's a brilliant podcast, but it not only intellectually inspiring, but it also feeds the soul. And Jeff Salzman, he's kind of a Mr. Roger meets Ken Wilber. I don't know if you guys remember who Mr. Roger was, but he was he had a kid's show when I was growing up, and he was very kind and welcome to the neighborhood. And this is, and I haven't seen the movie with Tom Hanks about him, and I don't know if it's an expose of what he was a horrible man or something. I don't think so. Anyway, but yeah, thank you, Louis. Just the kindness plus the brilliance, that's an integral move. Love that. So yeah, that's something to do. And I've trying to work out my practice and all my responsibilities. I do my podcast when I work out, and so if you can double up on some of these things, it helps. And let's see, was there anything else? Oh yeah, and coming up here shortly, stay tuned. We're going to be doing a vision quest, online vision quest, and it'll be online vision quest number 2 from WeAwake, and from myself anyway. And we did one last year. I guess it was early fall or something like that. And it was 100 people showed up, and it was extraordinarily powerful. And it just became something very special. And I've done a lot of vision questing in my life individually, and put a lot of people out on the mountain over the years. So something I'm pretty familiar with, both personally and as a guide. And it turned into something really good. And so if you are looking, and I think a lot of us during these times of COVID and our social distancing have hopefully had a lot of time to be a little more self-reflective. It's like, oh, here I am stuck with myself, again, and have looked into the issues of your life, and what am I here to do, and what am I here to give, and what are my gifts, and what do I need to cultivate, and who do I need to forgive, and who do I need to, what do I need to do to clean up myself, both inside and out, my world. And if that resonates with you, well, it could be that it's time to go. And if you're looking for deeper meaning and purpose, you're at that point. And sometimes we just have to explore, the shallowness and go through all that. And hopefully most of us do it when we're young, before we can do too much damage to ourselves or others. But when you start looking for the depth and the purpose and the meaning, individual meaning of your life, and how it fits into the big picture, it's time for a vision quest. And as the Bible says, without a vision, the people perish. So we're going to be doing that, and stay tuned, and we'll talk more about that. But I'm getting psyched for it, and doing my prayers and doing my work, and hoping to be a good guide. And obviously, when you're guiding others, it's a revelation also to the guide. It's always powerful. So anyway, I'll stop rattling on. So good to see you guys, or not to see you guys, but anyway, feel your presence, and love the meditation together. And remember, this is something that technology is designed to do part of a daily practice. So if you haven't figured that one out yet, just start easy. It's like the first time you go to a gym, you don't just bench press 350 pounds. You start with maybe just a bar and somebody there to spot you, right? So start, and I was talking to a friend about starting, and I said a really good place to start, if you're doing that beginner, should get PNP 3.0, and I think it's like 17 tracks or something like that. And the first 9 tracks are go from kind of beginning delta down to deep delta, and they just get progressively, and they're 20 minutes, so you can do a 20-minute meditation every morning, and get through all 17 tracks in good order. And I think just doing that, you will notice a difference in how you feel and how your mind works, and the synchronicities and the things that begin to happen when we're self-actualizing, or and we're starting to become the people we're supposed to do, and paying attention not only to the exterior world, but to the interior vast universe that's inside each one of us. So I said I would stop talking, so I will. Anyway, hey, blessings on all of you, and you too, WeAwake team. It's so good to see you guys. I missed you over our break, and but we are back, and better than ever. Let's hope, and let's make this the year where we, I don't know, we reach the whole world, and get more and more people using this, discovering this interior practice. And I will stop talking. I love you. Bye.